The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The following presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we're there for you. The following presentation of the Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from Ralph's Food for Less, the nation's premier price impact supermarket chain. Food for Less is proud to be working with the community to enhance the lives of everyone by providing a diverse selection of products and customer service and by reaching out to support the communities in which we serve. Welcome everybody to Lou House on the campus of Leuzinger High School. Along with Rufus Washington, I'm Lou Stowers, and it is the high school game of the week on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Television Channel 22 Sports. And it's the South High Spartans taking on the Olympians of Leuzinger, and what a battle it's going to be, Rufus, as these teams here are fighting for playoff positions.
They certainly are. You're getting into the heart of the league season everywhere. It seems like every night we're seeing a great game, and tonight's contest pitting the South Torrance Spartans against these Leuzinger Olympians who are in first place, but South is fighting for a playoff spot, so they're going to come ready tonight.
That's true. As in the Bay League, Rufus, we're going to see a lot of the scoring leaders, assist leaders, block leaders, and rebound leaders that are all in the top three of the Bay League.
Well, you got Vince Albitz for South, whom the fans haven't seen, who's a scoring phenomenon in his own right. Obviously, they know Russell Westbrook and Donnell Beverly. Great story in the day's Daily Breeze about Russell Westbrook. Everything that you read about him, it's all true. Of course, the Channel 22 fans know that because they get to see it right here.
That's right, and we're also going to see a former hockey player's son, number 30, Darrell Evans for the Spartans. Well, his daddy, Darrell Evans Sr., was the hero of the Miracle on Manchester when the LA Kings eliminated Wayne Gretzky's Edmonton Oilers way back when, so that should be fun.
Well, we got to hope that the son can transition ice skills onto the court. But it will be a good up-paced game. You can expect to see both teams run. We know what Leuzinger is going to do. They don't mind pressuring you, and that's what they'll bring. The question for South will be, coming off of a 13-point loss about 18 days ago, if they've been able to make the adjustments. Remember, this is the second time through, so teams play you a little bit tougher than they did the first time.
Why don't we take a look at the Bay League standings and see where Leuzinger and South come into the Bay League, Rufus?
Well, first of all, we know that Leuzinger is on top with a 5-1 league record, tied with West. That's a game we've got Friday night, but we'll get to that later. South is in third place in the league at 3-3, 15-6 overall. So they're a playoff team. Right now they're playing for positioning. It's hard to imagine that they've got a shot at the championship. I think that's going to rest somewhere between Leuzinger and West, and of course Redondo, Miracasa, and Palos Verdes bringing up the rear.
And also the South Torrance team says, the coach told me earlier that if their number one three-point shooter gets off to an early start, they will win the ball game.
Well, that might be a possibility. What they've got to hope is that Leuzinger's number one defender doesn't get off to an early start and shut him down.
That's right. As the Spartans are mainly a man-to-man defending team, but they are going to switch up and do some zone defense tonight in honor of Leuzinger.
Well, I think they'll try several things. As we know, we see teams every week employ different defenses against Russell Westbrook to start with. But what Leuzinger has been able to do effectively the last couple of weeks, as we've seen, is that they've got a 2 and 3 scorer, whether it's Duke Moore, Donnell Beverly, of course, the number 2 scorer, but Duke stepped up a couple of games ago. So you never know where that 2 and 3 scorer is going to come from, and that's going to be the challenge. And the zone may be the more effective option for them in that case.
All right, it's going to be a great game here at the Lou House And hopefully the torch will be burning after this game with the Leuzinger win. Stay right where you are. The Spartans and the Olympians coming up next on Channel 22 Sports. Back at Olympic Gym, along with Rufus Washington, I'm Lou Stowers, and starting lineups. Why don't we get to those right away for the South Torrance Spartans? And the point guard will be Trent Higaya, number 32, a 5'8 senior. And the shooting guard, Vance Albitz, a 5'8 senior as well. The three guard will be, the wing will be Andrew Ayamada. And the power forward will be number 11, Devin Pilgrim. And in the middle, it'll be number 30, Darrell Evans, as number 21, Ardo Kayajian is actually in the starting lineup. So they kind of switched us up here, and we're underway at Leuzinger High School. Thanks for joining us as the first shot of the game is tipped away, and Donnell Beverly comes up with it for Leuzinger, and a three-point shot is taken and buried by Deshaun Freeman starting the game tonight, and it's an early 3-0 lead for the Olympians.
Early 3-0 lead from an unlikely source, Deshaun Freeman.
As Deshaun Freeman gets the start tonight, also Kristen Stribling is starting, Duke Moore, Donnell Beverly, Demetrius Deason is not starting, and Russell Westbrook, as we have a turnover by South, and it will be the Leuzinger Olympians ball.
Still early going. South having just a bit of a problem getting untracked. One turnover, one missed shot.
So we'll watch the defense to see if this triangle defense, to see a 1-2-2 zone right now, Rufus, as Donnell Beverly has it over to Westbrook. Actually, that's up to Duke Moore. Moore now to Westbrook. Tries to get it back under, but throws a bad pass and turns it over to South. And back they come. The Olympians trying to get on the board. Ayamada with it, back outside to Higaya. Ayamada with it, and his shot won't go down. Rebound is off to Stribling, and back come the Olympians in a hurry, but so is the South defense. They're back in a hurry as well, tipping the ball out of bounds. Definitely a height advantage for the Olympians.
A significant height advantage for the Olympians, and here early they're trying to exploit it. That's 2 looks inside in 3 possessions.
There you saw Reggie Morris, the head coach of the Olympians, and a 3-point shot by Westbrook misses, and the rebound is off and taken by South. And back come the Spartans. Here comes Higaya in a hurry, passes it off, and a layup and in by Kaladrian. 3-2 is the score. 3-point shot taken. It won't go down. Rebound to Beverly, though, on Freeman's shot. Freeman gets the rebound off of the miss by Beverly, and it'll be South ball.
Freeman thought that rebound was touched by South. The official underneath, that's Enrique Arroyo with the inbounds play, saw it otherwise. You got a 3-man crew working tonight as these teams prepare for the playoff. They're wanting to get them adjusted. That's a league decision, get them adjusted to playoff officiating, since both of these teams are going to be playoff-bound teams.
As Pilgrim gets the ball, and he does a little bunny hop, so it will be Olympians ball on the turnover. 6:04, just the start of things here. And there you saw the coach of the Spartans, Leonard Butler, also his assistant coach, Al Mayate. Donnell Beverly with it, going against Albitz, who's Mr. Everything for this team, but so far we haven't seen Albitz at all. except on defense.
Except on defense. One of the things that the Olympians looking to do now is you get a block called on that play. That's always one of those calls that can go either way, particularly when the defender goes down, except this time it's going to go against College Jean.
As Ralph Horton makes the bucket, he will go for the and one as a 45% free throw shooter.
And Horton, an early substitute into the game as he comes in for not Deshaun Freeman, but the other big man,
Duke
Stribling.
Stribling, okay. So the foul is on Ardo Kalajian, a 6'2 senior, and that's the first foul of the game. Free throw is no good, but the rebound is put up and in by Deshaun Freeman.
And Kevin White is on the floor for Duke Moore. Kevin White, who hit the big shot on Friday night against Mira Costa to win the game for the Olympians, a senior. In fact, they say it was his first basket of the season. Couldn't have come at a more opportune time than a win for the Olympians.
And these Spartans lost a heartbreaker, 61-60 to Penny High in the last second. They were down 13 points going into the third quarter, Rufus, and the last shot went around the rim and out.
That's a tough one.
So the ball goes down
we'll
low.
see how it affects him tonight. And again, as you mentioned earlier, with Freeman going in for the basket, Leuzinger looking to exploit their height advantage. And boy, they've got size advantages at virtually every position, perhaps with the exception of the two-guard position.
And Deshaun Freeman is really reaping the benefits, Rufus. Has 7 of the 9 points for the Olympians, who lead at 9-2. Three-point shot taken and missed by Hegaya, and the rebound is off to the Olympians, and back comes Donnell Beverly with 4:49 left. Takes a shot from the free throw line, no. Rebound is tipped and taken away by the smaller Spartans, and back comes Hegaya as he really did a 360 spin and spun Kevin White out of his shorts, and White fouls him.
Oh, Kevin White having a little difficulty accepting that foul. Blocking call on the play. Let me just mention again the entire officiating crew, because it is a good one. It's a 3-man crew working tonight's contest. And that's Enrique Arroyo, Greg James, an old friend of mine, and Floyd Hooper.
A big block on the play. I believe that was by Westbrook, who goes down, takes a shot, and banks it in.
Westbrook using the glass effectively on that shot. And that forces an early timeout here at the 4:28 mark, with the Spartans of South trailing by 11-2. And boy, I tell you, they've got to have a high shooting percentage tonight if they want to stay in this game, because any misses coming off the board are going into the hands of the losing Olympians.
Well, the South Spartans shoot 50% as a team from the floor, so not too bad. Also, three-pointers, they've taken 310 three-point shots. They love to shoot the three up because they're such a small team, obviously. They got to bomb from downtown.
Well, they certainly do, and again, that's why being on point tonight is going to be very critical for them if they want to keep this game close, particularly here in the early going, as they're already down by a 9-point margin. We're only halfway through the first.
So also the Spartans even said that they were going to adjust to the Leuzinger game. So right there, that gets a team right out of their game that they know anyway.
Exactly.
South brings the ball up. Agaya with it. Says we're going to run the 4-play.
Leuzinger showing early man-to-man defense.
Three-point shot won't go down. Rebound to Chang. Chang brings it back out front. Agaya has it going against Beverly. What a mismatch that is. Now to Chang. Chang trying to find somebody, and he walks with the ball, trying to get it to Chang. So another turnover. That's 3 unofficially. And there's Coach Butler again. And another Division I coach is here tonight to watch the proceedings. And believe that that gentleman is from Westwood, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I just saw Darrell Evans Sr. in the house over there with a blue shirt and the suspenders, walking up on the left side up there. Going to go up in the corner. As Miles Allen in the ballgame for the first time, gives it to Donnell Beverly with 3:56 showing on the clock, an 11-4 lead. Beverly Actually, that's Westbrook going baseline. Pretty follow
Westbrook
it.
goes baseline. He's got the whole arsenal of moves.
As Alberts has it. Now it's stolen away from him by Miles Allen. Another turnover. Westbrook gets it over to Beverly. Baseline jumper. No. Rebound is off. Taken by South. Rebound goes to Chang. As here comes South. Alberts has it. Wide open on the wing, but doesn't take the shot as Kazaki. Now Alberts takes the three, and he buries it.
Alberts averaging 15 on the season, and once he gets going from the outside, he could have a huge night.
That broke a 10-0 run, Rufus, as now we have a foul reaching in, I believe, on Vance Alberts. And Reggie Morris is not wasting any time and switching off the lineups.
None whatsoever. He's made a number of substitutions already, at least 4 or 5 that we've seen here in the first 5 minutes of the contest.
3:10 left to go in the first quarter. Just the start of things on Lawndale Hawthorne Community Television Channel 22. Thanks for joining us all season long. I don't think we've had a stinker in the bunch.
Not yet. And the fans, of course, will remember last Friday night's game between North and Lawndale High.
Did you recover yet?
Wow. You know, there was a write-up about that game as well. In fact, that was a scoring record for North at 129 points. They say the average was something like 7.3 points per minute in that game.
Is it per minutes or seconds?
It seemed like it.
I kept telling people that, and they just looked at me in amazement. They said, no way. Foul is on Onishi. Third team foul. And a new 35 for the Olympians, who have a 13-5 lead. Now all of a sudden have kind of slowed things down with the new lineup in there. Now we have a turnover on the Olympians. Maybe somebody stepping out of bounds.
And I think they got an off-the-ball foul that's going to be called against Kristen Strebling on the push-off. The play was a two-man game between Westbrook and Donnell Beverly, and somehow looks like Strebling attempted to clear some space for Donnell, pushed off.
So South gets the ball back. Here comes Ayamata, and he is fouled on the drive.
Game still hasn't found its flow yet. It's a little herky-jerky, I think, with the players, officiating crew, of course, having something to do with that here in the early going, and the players would make the adjustment. That's what we always teach players.
Deshaun Freeman with the foul, and Andrew Ayamata with the first free throw makes it. That's a 71% free throw shooter, makes it 13-6. Ayamata, 175 pounds, 6'3", makes the second one, averages 13.2 a game. 13-7 is our score. Leuzinger with the lead. As coming down is Duke Moore, as he forces a blocking foul.
Duke Moore had a huge game the last time we were here at Lou House when they took on the Redondo Seahawks.
What a terrific game that was.
Heck of a coming out party for Duke. He was our player of the game.
That's right. And now Deshaun Freeman started the game tonight, had 7 quick points. He's back out on the court. Do you think a lot of change-ups like that when a team's not used to it, can that slow a team down?
Well, I think here at Leuzinger, in Coach Morris's system, it doesn't. And in fact, he does something that I wish more coaches would employ. And it's real simple. When they have tryouts and they're picking a squad, only guys who can play get a jersey. And at this school, if you're given a jersey to put on the varsity, that means you're going to get to play. The first man, the 12th man, is as good as the first man in terms of playing time and so forth. And I wish more schools would do it. A lot of schools, you got kids who put the uniform on and they decorate the bench.
Donnell Beverly gets the ball after the steal of the inbound. Here comes Westbrook driving in, hangs like Elgin Baylor, but the ball won't go down. Rebound is volleyball, tipped to Vance Alberts of South, and back they come, dodging a bullet. Here comes Onishi, gets the ball back to Ching. Ching with a long two-point shot. So Jake Ching gets his first points of the game and being run over for the charge.
Actually, they're going to give a travel call on that. That was Onishi, though, who drew the travel, and that constitutes a turnover.
So the score 15-9. South will get the ball back. So the only thing that will seem to beat the Olympians is themselves.
Well, the one thing we know about the Olympians is that they are a slow starting team. They pick it up as the game goes along. South, on the other hand, fairly consistent, averaging about 15 points a quarter throughout the game.
That's right, so here comes on the baseline drive. The shot won't go down. Rebound is off. Shot was just missed by Jared Kozaki. Russell Westbrook has his dribble tipped away. Here comes Kozaki against Beverly. Kozaki almost lost it. Now gets it back as the ball is thrown around to Chang. Now Onishi has it. Onishi gets it back. Going against Donnell Beverly. Gets rid of his man, goes up, and nice play by Onishi.
Deshaun Freeman with the blocking foul had a lot of body as the drive to the basket was made, and of course he's going to find himself in a spot of foul trouble. That's his second, it looks like the board is indicating here in the first quarter.
Second and the third team foul. Onishi looking for his first points of the game. Sinks that one, a 61% free throw shooter. Makes it 15-10. And after that 13-2 run to start off the game, the Olympians have gone cold.
They've gone cold for a moment, but we also knew that South would pick up the pace. Again, this is a very good South team, 15-6 overall. They've already qualified for playoffs, and they're jockeying for a favorable seeding in the playoffs right now.
Westbrook has the ball for the Olympians with less than a minute to go in the first quarter. A 4-point Leuzinger lead at 15-11. In the ball game for the first time, Dedrion Morgan. Morgan passes it back and loses it as Kevin White fumbles it out of bounds for the third Olympian turnover with 45 seconds left. So I don't think Kevin White was ready for that one.
Well, Kevin White lost his focus for just a second. It was a good pass. Pass was on the spot and just got away from it. Now we've got another foul called against the Olympians as Dedrion Morgan. Morgan, a 6'1", 163-pound junior. Dedrion haven't seen spot duty during most of the season thus far, at least during our coverage of it.
So the ball will be inbounded a little further up by Pilgrim. Pilgrim gets it in, and now we have a violation there as Pilgrim stepped inbounds and turns the ball back over to the Olympians. That's number 6 on the Spartans. Beverly gets the inbound. 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Donnell Beverly going down the lane, puts a shot up, and is fouled underneath. He'll go to the line for 2.
That looks like it's going to go against Mitsuchi, and it is number 15. Mitsuchi just gave him a push as he went by, realized he was beaten on the play.
So that's the the 5th team foul on South as Donnell Beverly is 2 for 2 from the line with 2 points, trying to extend this lead. The left-hander with nice form puts it up and in. 16-11. So boy, getting back to that Lawndale North game, that was quite an incredible feat there. As have to be proud of the Cardinals because they were being pressed all game long and still scored 114.
Absolutely. Between these two teams, they've got 28 points here. I think each one of those teams had 28 points at the end of the first quarter.
Oh boy, yeah, it was 64-60 at the end of a half. 27 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Looking for the last shot is South as the game clock is about a second behind the shot clock.
And Leuzinger springs a pressure defense on South out of nowhere. South thinking that they were just going to lay down on the last shot. Instead, they show them something completely different.
That keeps the boys on their toes as Onishi passes the ball out. A three-point shot is made by South. And that ends the quarter as Jared Kozaki gets his first three-pointer of the game. And look out. It's now a 3-point ball game at 17-14, Rufus, after a 13-2 lead to open up the game.
Absolutely. It was 13-2 with just about 4 minutes left. And over the rest of the quarter, South outscored them by a margin of 12-4 to make it a contest. Of course, no surprise to us as we look at it on the screen here that we knew it was going to be this type of game coming into the contest.
That's right, the three-point shooters Vance Albitz and Jared Kozaki getting their first 3-pointers of the game. As Albitz has 3. Andrew Oyamata with 2 points. 3 for Kozaki, 2 for Jake Cheng, and 2 for Ardo Kalajian, and 2 points for Robert Anishi for a total of 13. Donnell Beverly with 4, all from the free throw line. Russell Westbrook with 4. Deshaun Freeman, who was really that spark in that 13-0 run, or 13-2 run, has 7 points, and 2 points for Ralph Horton. Just about to start the second quarter. And we're going to have another fun game here on Friday nights.
Oh, that one will be a real fun one. And it'll become even more fun if the table gets set properly. Speaking of that, West Torrance is at Miracosta tonight. And let's see how they're going to give this one. Okay, they're going to give this one against Chang. I got to tell you, I saw Westbrook with a little forearm shove there. I thought he was going the other way on the quick whistle by Enrique Arroyo.
Well, it's kind of like retaliation, right?
Absolutely.
The guy gets, like in football or hockey or anything else, the guy that initiates the contact doesn't get the call. It's the guy who answers. So that's the 7th team foul, Rufus. So from now in, the Olympians will go to the free throw line, at least through the half, as Westbrook makes the first one for his 5th point, a 79% free throw shooter.
Still looking for that coach you said was here from that little school up the road.
He is, Westbrook makes the second one. Both ends of the 1-and-1, 19.
Russell Westbrook, the whole package, and now, wow, blocking call. Just as we start to say that, Russell trying to draw the charge underneath. Instead, they give him a blocking call, as that's going to send Darrell Evans to the line. We talked about him earlier. Of course, he's a 6-foot junior, 190 pounds. They got him listed as a post player. Boy, it's a tough living. Your daddy had better been a hockey player if you're going to try to play the post at 6 feet.
Well, his daddy was 5'8", maybe. He still is, and he's up in the upper left
people
corner.
For a living.
That's right. He was a scrappy little guy, as both free throws are missed by Evans, who's a 66%er, but now the ball is turned over by the Olympians underneath, and the layup is blown as the rebound is fought for, and possession arrow faces south. They'll get the ball, I do believe, but Miles Allen was in the middle of that.
Pretty good action, I tell you. South isn't backing down in spite of their height disadvantage. They're up on the boards.
As the inbound pass went through everybody, and William Chang ended up being in the right place. So we have a number 25, I do believe. Oh, excuse me, that's 23. That's Robert Onishi. Onishi gets it back on the wing to Mitsuchi. Back to Onishi. Onishi has it against Beverly. Ball is tipped and picked up, saved by Evans. Onishi with a little runner on the baseline and puts it up and in. 4 points for Onishi, and that makes it 19-16.
Back to a 3-point game. Again, boy, Leuzinger throwing the full house at him on the defensive end.
But South really showing some patience there, as we have a block, and Donnell Beverly gets up a little slow.
Gets up slow because he caught a knee in the thigh. I believe, I hope it was a knee in the thigh as opposed to knee-to-knee contact. Looks like it was a knee in the thigh.
Should be on Robert Onishi. But nothing, no, they're calling it on Vance Albitz.
That's what it looks like. I think they may change that before it's all said and done.
As Donnell Beverly is 4 for 4 from the free throw line, trying to get his focus back. Puts it up and won't go down. Rebound is taken and put up, but it won't go down. But Ralph Horton's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Ralph Horton, and again, a clear example of where the dominance in terms of size for the Olympians comes into play. Coach Butler played in this case with the officiating crew there.
Horton is 0 for 1 from the free throw line. The foul was on Darrell Evans. That's his first and the 19th foul on South. Horton's first free throw, no good. Ralph is just a 45%er. Now coming in to the game tonight, Rufus was listening to the Lakers and the Knicks, and Kobe had 25 points, was 11 out of 12 from the free throw line. So you know how important those free throws can be as you see another one rattle out.
So Horton does an O for.
Horton, here's an O. As Hagaya has it, tries to put the ball up, but good defense by Duke Moore forces it out of bounds, and the ball goes over to the Olympians with 6:28 left in the first half.
6:28, and the pace of the game right now is to South's liking. I can guarantee you that. Leuzinger is yet to get one of those spurts going where they're going coast to coast and just scoring baskets. Now, we know that can come at any time, and for South, the only question is when.
As Russell Westbrook gives the ball off to Donnell Beverly, being watched by Vance Albitz.
And right on cue, the crowd tries to do just that, pick up this Leuzinger offense.
Donnell Beverly still has it as Ralph Horton knocks somebody flat. Westbrook has it. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. As here comes Moore. Moore passes it back out, but I believe he stepped on the end line and turns the ball over. So the Olympians are kind of befuddled right now because they've only scored 6 points since about midway through the first half, or first
quarter. Let me tell you how you answer that befuddlement. It's real simple. You give the ball to number 4, and all of a sudden you're not befuddled anymore.
As the ball is turned over, as South can't really tell the color on these on the end lines and on the out of bounds lines, on the sidelines. So it's a timeout called. Timeout's called on the floor with 25 seconds. Actually, no, don't know how much time is left. It's about 6 minutes, I believe, left.
Coach Reggie Morris called that timeout. It was a 30, and I'm just going to guess. I have no way of knowing, but as we see him right here on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22, giving instruction to his team. What I did hear him just say, pass the ball and move, okay? That much I can read his lips.
Well, the Olympians have not scored a field goal in this quarter, just a couple of free throws, and the Spartans do have one field goal from Robert Onishi. So Reggie Morris was saying in a newspaper article that they expect there was some travel there, I do believe. Ralph Horton took it and took a step before he handed the ball off.
Well, turnover against the Olympians nonetheless, boy, and that's one of those kind, no coach, you like to score out of the turnover.
As Donnell Beverly tried to block the pass over to Hagaya, he blows the shot anyway. And here comes Gary Parker in the ball game for the first time, gets it to Beverly. Beverly tries to penetrate, but gets it back out to Westbrook. Now let's see who's going to provide a spark for the Olympians going to the midway point of the second quarter. Westbrook takes a shot and bounces it off the glass.
You're not befuddled anymore. Yeah.
21-16 is the score. Finally, the first field goal of the game for the Olympians comes at about the 5:30 mark in the second quarter.
I think I'm nicknaming that the anti-befuddler.
As Albitz befuddles the defense of the Olympians for his 5th point. And that's 21-18. Donnell Beverly over to Quarker.
Let's see if they go back to Westbrook again.
Kevin White gets it to Westbrook. Now Beverly gets it back out, trying to look to break this zone defense. White over to Westbrook. Westbrook trying to get free. He's double teamed. Turnaround jumper won't go down. Rebound is tipped around and taken away by Westbrook.
Wow.
Westbrook making an acrobatic move to steal that away.
Must have slid his foot. They called travel on the play. I thought it was pretty good steal. He knew he had to get rid of it quickly. Attempted to do that, but it's called for the traveling nonetheless.
So we got to get caught up on some of these things here a little later on as the South Spartans have the ball. Trent Hagaya with it. Hagaya bounces it down low to Ayamata. And we have a traveling call on Jake Chang. That's turnover number 8.
Boy, a low scoring contest thus far at 21-18.
Seems like
South through the second quarter.
South's defense has put a sleeper hold on Leuzinger tonight. Beverly with it. Beverly has it over to Westbrook. Good defense by Hagaya. Now Beverly has it. Back out front to Deshaun Freeman. Freeman just runs over his man, and that causes a turnover on the foul. Brent Dyan gets a run over, and he's the recipient of the ball after Freeman gets his 3rd personal.
Freeman gets his 3rd personal. They bring in Christian Streebling. Streebling had a big game a couple of weeks ago, so we know he can contribute as well. Right now, they're being challenged defensively, though.
4 minutes left to go in the first half. 21-18. South is staying close. And that's what you don't want in one of these big games, is another travel by Hagaya. And that's 9 turnovers. As Robert looks at the official over on the far side, Enrique Arroyo, he says, "Did I travel?" He says, "Yep, I did." Or, "Yep, you did." As now Donnell Beverly brings the ball up, being guarded by Hagaya. Beverly in trouble, gets it down low, travel. Streebling did a pump fake, but went too far up off the ground to turn the ball over.
So now we got each team matching each other turnover for turnover. The question might be who wins a turnover battle as opposed to who wins the scoring battle.
Well, it's 9-8 right now. Spartans over the Olympians in that dubious department. As Albitz has it, gets it up top. Hagaya with it, gets it back out to Albitz, who only has 5 points. Leads this team with 15.3 a game as Allen tried to get it and is called for a push as Hagaya went flying.
And that's a foul you have to call. Allen making a play on the ball, but nonetheless he initiated the contact, which knocked the South player off the ball, put him at a disadvantage, and now Leuzinger has worked their way into a 1-and-1 situation defensively, such that South now will be shooting on every foul.
Vance Albitz makes the first free throw. That gives him 6 points. And look out, this team can shoot free throws, Rufus. 69% as a team, not all that great. But Albitz is 83% from the free throw line and misses that one as Ralph Horton comes with the rebound. And it's 21-19, just a bucket away. And Beverly gets it over to Allen for 3. Short, rebound is off. Evans has it. Now he gets it over to Hagaya. Down underneath, and now we have a player control foul going the other way. Robert Onishi belts Miles Allen.
Official right there on the spot to make the call, no doubt about it.
And I have Onishi with 3. The scorer's table has it with 2, so we'll go with the scorer's table. Or did they change? Nope.
Well, it looks like it's still 2.
I'll trust them. Miles Allen brings the ball out top to Donnell Beverly. Horton bounces it down low to Westbrook. Let's see what he can do against Hagaya. Allen for 2. No. Rebound to Horton. Horton puts it back up. He's fouled to go to the line for 2. You can take your pick on which one of the Spartans had fouled him.
Well, no, I think Miles Allen has probably hit his quota of shots for this game.
Doesn't play a whole lot, averages 3 a game.
He's taken 2 and come up empty on those 2. I think he's going to be encouraged to move the ball around.
Ralph Horton, as goose eggs from the free throw line, is 0 for 2, makes this one with 3 points, and that snaps a long drought period. 22-19. So the Olympians aren't out of the woods yet by any means. The Spartans are hanging up in the limbs.
They're hanging, and we still got a half of basketball to go. A lot of time. As I said, the thing about, I mean, this Leuzinger team is one of those type of teams that you know sooner or later, especially on their home court, the engine light's going to come on and they're going to take off.
Another travel by the Spartans, Robert Anishi with it, as Jared Kozaki is going to come in for Onishi. 10 turnovers by South.
But you got to give Coach Butler and Coach Mayati's team a lot of credit. You talk about coming in prepared with a game plan. They are executing their game plan nearly to perfection. One thing of which was to slow down this Leuzinger team in the play. Good, tough defense. As you see, Russell Westbrook cutting and slicing and dicing his way to the basket.
He sure did, as Kozaki gets the ball, almost runs right into us here at the table. So that is 8 points for Westbrook and a 25-19 lead. Hagaya gets it over on the far wing. The three-point shot taken, in and out by Albitz, and the rebound goes off to Stribling with 1:55 left to go in the first half. Allen has it, wants to drive, but gets it back to Beverly for three. Got it.
Donnell Beverly, and of course that's a huge three for him. As we talked about, any one of the 2 and 3 guys for Leuzinger, if they get cranked up, and there's a three by Westbrook.
There
comes the run. We knew it come sooner or later, and boy, that forces Coach Butler into a timeout. Coach Butler's going to say the ball was kicked, and I think he probably has a point. None of the officials saw it, though.
That was on the turnover that Miles Allen went after. I didn't see it, Rufus, but it went off, and Miles Allen had it, slid, and gave it to Westbrook, who went to his spot on the right wing to bury the three.
I know we've got a replay of that. I know we've got Steph out in the truck, but that's the play. I can tell you that that's the play that Coach Westbrook is taking exception to.
So Leonard Butler, the head coach of South, showing his frustration there, just still shaking his head.
So just a second ago, it was, what, 23-19? We had ourselves a 4-point game.
It was 21-19.
21-19, and just that quickly, you're right, the Olympians go on a 10-point run.
And thanks to 2 3-pointers in a row by Donnell Beverly and Russell Westbrook, with 1:28 left to go. So lightning strikes quick here at Lou House. Chang has it. Now it's tipped out of bounds. Good defense by Donnell Beverly. Looks like it's a 3-2 zone being employed by Leuzinger right now. Hagaya with it. 1-3-1 zone. Is that what we're looking at, Rufus?
I think, and that's what I was trying to get a feel for. It's like the old amoeba defense of LSU, where it mutates into a number of different things.
As Miles Allen has it, still out on the court. Horton has it over to Westbrook from his spot. Under a minute left, trying to get away from Chang, has to get it back outside. Beverly gets it over to Stribling. Now back up top to Horton. Horton says, I'm not going to shoot it from out here. Now gets it to Stribling.
12 on the shot clock.
Resets the offense. 40 seconds left in the half. Shot from the elbow is short. Rebound is off. Maybe Chang pushed off, but he gets the rebound, and back comes South with an opportunity to get the last shot of the half. Ball is down low to Chang. Gets it back out up top.
And now you are looking at a 1-3-1 defense, just as you mentioned earlier. Wow. And they're going to hit Russell Westbrook with a push-off foul. That's going to be his second here in the first half. I would suspect that we may have seen with 18.5 seconds go.
As you see,
Russell making his
Duke Moore
last
coming
appearance
off the bench
here in the first half.
Duke Moore comes off the bench to replace him, and Chang comes on to shoot free throws. Second personal on Westbrook, 8th team foul. The free throw is no good. As Donnell Beverly has it.
Shot.
Shot clock is dark. 10 seconds left to go. Beverly off the glass, looked like Russell Westbrook. That was a nice shot.
Same
9
shot
points.
from the same spot.
33-19 as the half comes to an end. They wave the foul off on the block as Miles Allen goes to the deck guarding Trent Haggai on the full court pressure. So with a 33-19 lead, finally saw the Olympians wake up there in the last minute and a half.
Well, as I said earlier, Lou, we knew that it would happen. The only question was when it would happen, and it took a long time for it to happen. Give South a lot of credit, boy. What they were doing, their formula was working, and it worked for a long time until, with about 2 minutes left in the period, it was 21-19. Well, about 3 minutes left, but in a 1 minute span, 1 to 2 minute span, the Olympians went on a 10-0 scoring run and extended what was a 21-19 lead to 31-19. And of course, our score as we go into halftime, as we see on Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22, is 33-19. So they did two things. Not only did they have a scoring run, they had a defensive run where they stopped them in the last 3 minutes from scoring at all.
That's right, finally breaking out of that South Torrance zone defense, as the score in the quarter was 16-6 in favor of the Olympians over the Spartans. So the defense really held, plus a lot of missed shots by the Spartans as well, and a lot of turnovers as well.
And you're very generous to that South team because it was actually 16-5. It was 17-14 at the quarter. And
I thought it was 7. You're right. I had 13.
And not that I'm here to correct you, but the point is, I know, just like we talked to all these coaches, that they take great pride in their defense, and that's something that Leuzinger can be proud of. 5 points they held South to over an 8-minute period. That's playing pretty doggone good defense, and as I said, they got on track. Coach Butler has some work to do with his team as he goes into the locker room.
That's right. 2 field goals scored by the Spartans in that quarter, 1 on a field goal. So 6 points for Vance Albitz for the Spartans, 2 points for Andrew Ayamata, and no points for Jared Kazaki. Have to go all the way down to Robert Onishi with 4 points, just 1 bucket there in the second quarter, and that is it for 19 points. 2 points for Jake Chang in the first quarter, and 2 points for Ardo Kalajian. And for the Olympians, who lead 33-19, Donnell Beverly has 9 points, and Russell Westbrook leading the Olympians with 11 points, and 7 points for Deshaun Freeman, all in the first quarter. Had a big first quarter, and then has 3 personal fouls, so we won't see him until, obviously, next half. 4 points for Ralph Horton, as he found a little bit of trouble at the free throw line, is 2 out of 4, and that does it. That's 33 points for the Leuzinger Olympians. So the Spartans, like you say, they have their work cut out for them. Now they have to be a little bit more aggressive, I would believe, on the offensive side of the ball. The defense seemed to work for a bit until the Olympians woke up with that 10-0 run.
You're exactly right. And unfortunately, what they have to do will play right into the Olympians' hands. They've got to get a little more aggressive offensively, which means they're going to be putting up more shots. But again, if those shots aren't dropping, as we saw, their chances on the rebound are real slim. That means Leuzinger is going to be able to get out and run coming off the board. So it's a tough catch-22 that South finds himself in right now. But here's what we know. We know that they're a heck of a good squad. We've seen them, or at least read about them, giving a lot of teams in the Bay League trouble, and they aren't done yet. We've got a second half that should be good.
Absolutely, and that's coming up next right here. The score going into the locker room before the third quarter. Leuzinger 33 and South 19. Here comes the third quarter coming up next on Channel 22 Sports. Third quarter is underway. Leuzinger has the ball as Miles Allen gets it over to Russell Westbrook. Duke Moore has it. Moore wearing the headband, puts it up and won't go down, but we have a foul underneath. We have a push. It's going to go the other way as the Olympians were in the locker room for well over the 10 minutes.
And Russell Westbrook picks up an early third foul here in the second half. Only 20 seconds gone by. Picked up his second one deep in the second quarter with about 18 seconds left in the second. And now, 20 seconds later, picks up another one.
Albitz has the ball for South, bringing it up the floor. And their road green uniforms with the black and white trim. Trent Hayaga running the point for South. And trying to figure out what happened is that lightning bolt bit him in the pants there late in the second quarter as a running jump shot is put up and in by Oyamata, his first bucket of the ball game. And that makes it 33-21 as Donnell Beverly brings the ball up court, gets rid of his man, but gets it back out to Moore. Moore hesitates, puts it back down as it's stolen away by the South Spartans. A layup, no, but Pilgrim puts it up and in, and a nice rebound and put back for Devin Pilgrim, his first points of the game.
Duke a little too unselfish on that last possession, Luke. Duke actually passed up 2 shots.
As now Deshaun Freeman has it. Freeman dances around and puts it up and in, and Freeman picks up where he left off back in the first quarter, now has 9 points, as it's now 35-23. Pass is stolen away and saved by Beverly. Beverly stops at the free throw line, shoots and makes it after a nice sweet roll for 11 points and 37-23.
That's what you call home cooking.
Hayaga gets it back out to Chang. Chang didn't want to challenge and now gets it to Hagaya.
Still looking to see Vance Albert, who's your
been-
key guy, get untracked as well.
He has just been smothered, only 6 points, as a three-pointer, a two-pointer, and a free throw. As a three-point shot won't go down. Chang gets his, actually that's Oyamata gets his own rebound, but the pass is taken away and stolen by the Olympians. Here comes Moore, scoop shot, a little bit too short, but the rebound is picked up. Stribling's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Dribbling, going to the line and shoot 2. One piece of information we got at halftime out at the truck, and that is the Leuzinger coaching staff shared with us that Deshaun Freeman has a sore knee, and although he's out on the floor now, as you see Coach Reggie Morris looking on, that we shouldn't expect to see him play a lot in the second half.
All right, well, he's out there now in the third quarter. Stribling makes the first one. He is a 68% free throw shooter, just his first points of the game. As you see Leonard Butler, the coach of South, 38-23. The Olympians have the lead. So everybody is contributing that's been in the ball game now for the Olympians. As that free throw went way down and comes back out, Pilgrim comes up with the rebound. Cheng has it for South. Along the baseline, gets in trouble, gets it back out. Now a three-point shot taken by Onishi. That's short. Rebound by Russell Westbrook, the Bay League leader. Gets the ball down to Allen. Allen saves the ball, gets it out to Stribling, but it's taken away by South. Here they come on the fast break. Albitz with the left-handed layup. Well, just as you said something, he makes a quick bucket. Says, I'm going to show that Rufus Washington. 38-24.
It's hard to
5.
keep the Stars locked down for an entire game. And now Donnell Beverly starting to assert himself as well.
Beverly with the shot, 13 points, is now, we have a whistle and some substitutions. Dominique Coy coming in the ball game. 40-25 is the score. In the third quarter, 4:54 left to go in the third.
This quarter so far unfolding, gosh, with 3 minutes going by, very much like the first quarter did.
Rebound is taken by South. They'll get a second shot at it. Onishi has it, and Onishi runs over one of the Olympians, and it's going to be called a block as Coy gets his first personal, and it'll be the second team free throw. Or second team foul, I should say. Free throws for Onishi, 61% shooter. 2 for 2 tonight. Misses the first one, but the Olympians now are slowly, they had that went on that 10-0 run in the third to end of the first half, and have now slowly extended their lead.
They're definitely pulling away. They hit their average right on the money there at halftime by having 33 points on the board. As I said, they're a team that gets stronger as the game goes along. South, by comparison, stays steady throughout the course of the game.
It's dribbling wide open in the right corner, but misses everything with the air ball. As South was going to just challenged him to shoot it, had him surrounded by two people, and well, Kristen didn't convert, but South has it now. Gets the ball out and stolen away by Stribling. He's trying to make it up, but now he pushes away his defender, Robert Onishi, and I do believe that Onishi's going to get called for the foul. That should be his third.
Although you saw it correctly, Lube, that Stribling actually did push off, but the officials saw what he considered to be blocking before that.
So 40-26. White dumps it down low. A shot high off the glass is up and in by Horton, but now we have a loose ball foul after the bucket. And let's see what that's all about, Rufus.
Wow. And that is Russell Westbrook's fourth foul of the contest by my count. Yeah, and that definitely takes him out.
Sure does. He'll be there for a while. But with this big lead, as we see Deshaun Freeman right now over on the sideline, stretching his knee out with the training staff of Leuzinger, as he's out of the ball game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who now steps up. That number 2 scorer for the Olympians has to come into play, as the Olympians nearly force a turnover underneath. They get it but can't maintain possession, so South will keep possession with 19 on the shot clock.
Tedrion Morgan comes in. Out of the ball game is Kevin White for the Olympians. Chang had the ball almost stolen away by Ralph Horton on a good defensive play. Onishi drives the lane, and that should be a player control foul, and it is.
And he's injured
Onishi is down on the deck. He landed on a pretty tough guy in Ralph Horton.
Onishi gets up, though, no worse for wear. Looks like he's going to stay in the game. Sometimes that's a little more pride that's hurt than anything else. And
that should be the fourth foul on Onishi, and it is. As Horton has it with 3:35 left to go in the third quarter, 42-26. Moore with it. Moore going against Pilgrim. Goes on the baseline, puts up a tough shot. That won't go down, as Chang came in to force Moore with a shot that he didn't really want to take. As now the ball goes over to Mitsuchi, and it goes out of bounds.
So we'll make a note of the fact that it was a 42-26 ball game when Westbrook went out, and we'll see how both teams either take advantage or lose advantage as a result of that.
3:18 left to go. 3-point shot by South won't go down. Tipped by Cheng won't go. And Allen comes out with it. Allen on the break blows the layup, and it goes to Cheng to South. Long pass over to Albitz. He goes up for the layup and won't miss that one. 10 points for Vance, and that makes it 42-28 with 2:55 left to go in the third quarter. Donnell Beverly's triple team gets it back out to Miles Allen. Now Beverly, could he be the one to step it up? Goes around the back with the dribble, but we have a blocking foul on Albitz. There you see Vance with 10 points, and now 3 fouls, 4 team fouls.
So far, South a +2 since Westbrook went out.
So Donnell Beverly running the offense, says we're going to run play number 3. Allen over to Horton. Horton being guarded closely by Cheng, has the ball knocked away by Oyamada. It's the third turnover this quarter as Pilgrim runs over a man, but it could be Miles Allen on the foul with a block. It is. That's his second personal, 4th team foul. And in for him is Gary Quarker.
Gary Quarker. So, I think Coach Morris has used just about everybody on the bench tonight, I believe, with the exception of Eric Mosby.
Has a steal, and Duke Moore does a good job of getting the ball up to Donnell Beverly. Beverly still has it, wants to control things to run the offense. But Moore says, heck, I'll just shoot it from here and make a 3.
So Duke Moore stepping up to assert himself as looks like Coach Morris, I'm going to guess, as we watch the defense come down, that he's calling for his man. He signals 1-1.
As Mitsushi has it, gets it over to Albitz. Albitz being guarded by Donnell Beverly. Mitsushi has it, gets it back out, but I do believe Gary Parker is going to be called for blocking Mitsushi out of bounds.
Call for blocking. Gary gave up too much of the baseline, and by the time he tried to recover, he put himself in a position where the foul was going to be called against him.
Now they have number 15 up there, but on the foul, but we know that's not true. Unless it went against. Nope, it didn't. South has the ball. As Oyamata has it. Oyamata gets it over. He still has the ball and dribbles it out of bounds. His dribbling made him bounce the ball off the leg.
Olympian got a hand in there, knocked it off of him, and back on the floor for the Olympians comes Demetrius Deason. Well, we haven't seen him since the first half.
Dribbling has it. Now to Moore with 1:20 left to go in the third quarter. A 45-28 lead. Moore, who made a three-pointer earlier. Now the ball is down to Deason, back to Moore. Moore dishes around and gets it to Stribling and puts it up and in. Nice dish.
And what we're seeing, that's a very interesting thing, because that's the first thing you wonder when you have a star go out the way that Westbrook, with fouls, I mean, to leave the game, you wonder who's going to take over that role. Looks like Donnell Beverly is content to maintain his role as the setup man, and Duke Moore has taken over Russell Westbrook's role as the scoring threat.
Moore, also a junior, along with Westbrook, trying to go around his man, Kazaki. Stops, hangs, shoots, scores. Nice
I'm
play.
absolutely sure he's taken over Westbrook's role as the scoring threat now, as he's scored, I believe, the last 6 points or so for the Olympians.
So he has 5 as now the shot is taken, and that goes off the mark as Moore comes down with the rebound, doing a little bit of everything, just like Westbrook, as he turned the ball over. But it should be, let's see, are they giving it to South? Looks like they are.
A foul against, well, South will get the ball, but it comes on a foul call against Duke Moore. They're going to say pushed off over on the sideline, trying to regain possession of the ball that was forced out of his hand by the South defender. And, of course, that was Jared Kazaki.
As the free throw is up and in on the 1-and-1, Jared Kazaki makes it a 75% free throw shooter. That's his first point since the first quarter, makes the second one with 5 points. Now it's a 49-30 game in favor of Leuzinger. Moore brings it up and stops. Looked like he might have traveled, but covers it up and gets the ball away before
well, the
any
South
trouble
coaching
happens.
staff didn't think that he might travel. They thought that he did travel.
As Beverly has it, does a nice spin move to get away from his man, but gets it out to White with 6 seconds, 5 left on the clock. Beverly falls down, tries to get it off, but now here comes the ball to Oyamata, who can't make a nice shot. Just kind of threw up a prayer that wasn't answered, and that ends the third quarter 49-30 in favor of Leuzinger.
So what's key is that I mentioned we were going to track what the scoring difference was during those last 4 minutes when Russell Westbrook was out of the game. Leuzinger won that scoring battle by a margin of 7-4, as it was 42-26 when he went out, and we end the third quarter with a score of 49-30. So Leuzinger did well. You got to give him a lot of credit for having their stars sitting on the bench, boy, for what seemed like an eternity there. And now what'll be interesting, with them holding a 19-point lead, I think Coach Morris, I'm going to guess here, fans, is going to let him sit just a little bit longer. Certainly, and let's be clear here, you talked about the fact that there's scouts here to watch and play, and make no doubt about it, that's who they're here to see. And obviously, he'll give Russell an opportunity to showcase his talents, but he'd like to see Russell hang around this game as long as possible.
Absolutely.
In order to do that.
Well, he also wants to get a W in there to put the pressure on West Torrance. Both of them tied at 5-1 in the Bay League, and we will see West here on Friday night, so that should be a good one, and we invite you to join us in that game as well on Channel 22 Sports. Fourth quarter just underway as Oyamata has it and throws the ball away, but Evans is there to put the shot up and makes his daddy proud by pushing his way to the goal as Kevin White goes flying.
And as he goes to the line to shoot, let us remind you that Channel 22 Sports would like to thank our sponsors, Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites South Bay, the South Bay Workforce Investment Board, and Ralph's Food for Less for their generous support in making these games possible. If you enjoy these broadcasts and would like to see them continue, feel free to let your elected official know. You can do it in several different ways: letter, phone call, or you can contact them by email at Lawndale's City Hall.
Evans makes 1 of 2 with 1 point. That makes the score 49-31. Duke Moore drives the lane, lays it off the glass nicely. Duke Moore really shining here, blossoming in the absence of Russell Westbrook.
Well, Duke has become that other threat. And the other thing I think that's important about this as teamwork is that Donnell Beverly could so easily decide, you know what, Russell's out, I'm now the man.
He sure could.
Donnell content and comfortable in his own role. Boy, Duke's going to draw another foul there, and that's going to hurt his participation on the floor now.
That's his second personal.
Okay, that's his second. That's not bad then.
8th team foul as he went over the top of Brett Dyan. And now Duke is getting a little chat with Coach Reggie Morris as Dyan comes on, no points, a 93% free throw shooter.
Gives us an opportunity to remind the fans also, if they want to know what's on Hawthorne Lawndale's communicator channel 22. We'll talk about that in a moment, how you can just send an email and get a program guide sent to you by way of email every week.
Stribling has it, goes baseline, gets around Evans, but now Moore flies in for the rebound and put back all in one motion in the air. 9 points for Moore. And that makes it 53-31. As the ball will go to South as it was knocked out of bounds. Out of the ball game is Garrett Mitsuchi. As the ball is inbounded to Kozaki.
So the Olympians taking early control here in the fourth quarter.
Chang from the free throw line as Moore is all over the place at both ends of the court as he dribbles the ball off his foot, turns it over, and now are we going to get a possession here, a jump ball, or are we going to get a foul on Moore?
Wow.
Oh, we're going to get a foul on the other side.
Now we're going to get a travel call out of all that. That's what you call splitting the baby. And now you see Coach Butler, who really is going to take exception to that call.
So the Olympians get a break. Beverly has it underneath the Stribling, wide open, lays it in. 5 points for Stribling.
Excellent assist there by Donnell Beverly to read the passing lane along the baseline and feed it to his big man underneath.
Evans against Beverly puts it up. He makes it, and he'll go to the line for the old-fashioned three as he's fouled by Donnell Beverly.
Looks like Evans slid his own feet there, but instead he scores the basket, and that will lead to a timeout as Evans will come back to shoot the free throw on that call. Like to finish the comment early, Lou, we talked about how people can find out what's going on.
What's going on?
Hawthorne Lawndale's
Okay, that sounds like a good name for a song.
All they got to do is send an email, channel 22 at lawndalecity.org, and put the word subscribe in the subject line. Send it, and you'll receive a weekly update on all the great local programming available to you. If you got to ask what an email is, then don't bother. But for those who know what an email is, guess what? All you got to do is click it on, and you'll have it every week.
All right.
Hawthorne Lawndale's Community Cable Channel 22.
How about that? We got a MaxPreps.com photographer here, and I want to thank everybody for making Rufus Washington a star on MaxPreps.com. Evans makes the free throw. And for Evans, that is 4 points. And that makes the score 55-34.
And Max Preps, of course, now say this, and we aren't plugging them. They provide a service that we benefit from and that the kids enjoy. And with the other things we've been able to see, we here at Channel 22 have been able to get some of our footage on there so that people all around the country can see what we see.
That's right, the great
We've gone
players.
international, Lou.
Sheesh, worldwide.
Just
Wow.
think, there are 3 million Chinese that are looking at us, 3 billion rather, that can go on their computer and see that highlight that you called last week.
Well, we owe it all to Tom Strickfaden, whose quick fingers upload everything to Max Preps, that's for sure. Donnell Beverly with the bucket at the other end now with 15 points. It's 57-34.
So Leuzinger has taken firm control of this game with a 23-point lead at this point. And the only question now is when will Russell Westbrook return?
As Chang misses the three-pointer, now Albitz has it. Albitz has been very quiet tonight, has had a cork put in his bottle by the defense of Leuzinger, as Albitz will go to the line.
Since the first quarter, Lou, when the first quarter ended 17-14, Leuzinger has now outscored South by a margin of 40-20.
Wow. So it was a little bit slow in getting going there, especially there in the second quarter as it went to a grinding halt as the first free throw is in by Albitz. Now has 11 points. But again, that big 10-0 run to end the first half really did in the Spartans, and they just never recovered.
They never recovered from that, and the other thing was, and if you don't have the height, boy, it's real hard to come up with an answer for that deficiency.
And Ralph Horton gets the ball, does a little hopscotch down the lane, and is called for the turnover.
And Coach Morris tells him, Ralph, you're trying to do just a little bit too much. Just keep it simple.
It's 13 turnovers by the Olympians, who really have calmed down in the turnover department. Albitz for three, just misses that one. Rebound by Stribling, and back come the Olympians trying to tack on some more on that big lead. 5 minutes now left in the ball game. Olympians up 57-35. Horton way out top. Isn't going to take a shot from there. Now White has it.
And fans, we're only 2 weeks away from the playoffs, and guess what? All three of our teams being Leuzinger, Hawthorne, and Lawndale, the teams that we cover here on Hawthorne Lawndale Community Cable Channel 22. All three teams are going to be in the playoffs. It's going to be a heck of a playoff run. That's the first time, Lou, that has ever happened during my tenure here. And I know that for an absolute fact because for most of that time, Lawndale High was closed.
That's
and this
right.
is the first time they've ever made the playoffs since they
congratulations,
reopened.
congratulations to Coach Rios. And actually, well, Coach Rios, Coach Acosta.
Coach Alex Acosta.
And of course, Mike Rios, who 6-0 in league play over in the Ocean League.
6-0, and boy, they're only a win or two away from having that Ocean League title locked up.
As, boy, they really took care of Santa Monica High that game we saw. Samo in second place is a shot up and in by Kevin White. His first bucket of the ball game, Rufus, and it's 59-35 with 4 minutes left to go in the game.
Kevin won't remember this one nearly as much as he'll remember the one from Friday night as Corey Jordan now gets in the scoring column for the South.
Actually, we got a number switched around, I was told by Coach Al Mayate, as Pilgrim gets the steal, puts it up, and it's hacked out of bounds by Horton. And Horton fouls his first foul. It'll be free throw time with a double bonus. So they just switch around 11 and 13.
As you see,
there
Ralph
you got
Horton on the replay going to the basket to block that shot attempt by Pilgrim.
Pilgrim misses the first one. Devon, a 65% free throw shooter, 59-37. As this is, here's the Spartans, Rufus, are 7-1 on the road. So it's kind of joking around with the coaches of the Spartans before that, as the next one is missed. But these guys like bus trips and road food better than they like home cooking in their own beds. Because they're only 1-4 at home.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you made mention that. That was one of those things I was going to make mention of earlier.
As Allen has the ball. Now to Donnell Beverly. Back up top to Stribling. Allen gets it over to Deason. Deason drives the baseline, puts it up. No. Rebound is off. Parker. No. Beverly puts it up. That won't go. Rebound to Beverly. He puts it up. That won't go either. Chang tips the ball off as Onishi has it. Onishi being bugged by Beverly. Onishi looking for somebody to pass off to. And the ball is stolen away by Deason.
Well, the only question left now, Lou, with 2:48 left, is whether or not we'll see Russell Westbrook anymore tonight. Coach Morris may be content. Great pass by Donnell Beverly, goes off the hands of Deason, I believe that is, or Maythew.
That was Gary Quarker.
That was Quarker.
There.
I could see the three. I couldn't see the other number. But you're right, goes off the hands of Quarker. Quarker not being ready, not having his hands in the ready position.
Boy, that was self-defense there. If he would have been in front of it, he might have got hurt. As now we have a player control foul. Quarker makes up for it on the other end, takes the charge by Onishi, and I think that's it for Roberts.
And that'll bring Duke Moore back onto the floor. And
don't see Russell. He's still sitting on the far end of the bench.
And now Donnell Beverly goes off. So looks like Coach Morris may be calling off the Dogs with 2 minutes, just a little over 2 minutes left in the game.
Well, you got this team out there that's not really calling off the Dogs. I think there's a lot of teams out there that would like this lineup on their team. As the ball goes out of bounds, as Duke Moore is bugged from behind. Well, I thought Onishi was out of the game. Okay, there he is right in front of us. There you see Russell Westbrook on the left side of your screen with Donnell Beverly.
Yeah.
With 2 minutes and 3 seconds left, right in front of us. Through the lens of Eric Chavez's, that's Alonso's camera. Now we're discussing something, and what's going on over there, Rufus? Can you hear what's going on? As coming off, I think Onishi's off the floor now. Onishi was still out on the floor, and somebody discovered that he did have 5 fouls. So
good thing they did, otherwise that'd have been yet another technical.
So I'm not as dumb as I look.
No, not at all. I never said you were.
1:45 left to go in the ball game. 59-37 on an early week game, a Tuesday game.
But fun nonetheless. And boy, what does this do? Gosh, I wish we could certainly find out what the result of that Miracosta game, the West at Miracosta game was.
As a three-point shot is rolled in by Garrett Mitsuchi. That's his first points of the game, so that makes it 59. Actually, it's a two-pointer they give him.
Two-pointer it looks like, and I think it's pretty certain now with a minute and a half left, Lou, that we won't see Russell Westbrook anymore tonight, because then you get into that other psychological game that coaches play. That, of course, is, boy, you'd hate to bring a guy back in a game where the outcome is no longer in doubt and risk injury.
There's another long two-point shot that's buried by Mitsushi. That's 4 points. They break the 40-point mark, 59-41. A timeout is taken on the floor. And the score is 59-41 as you see the South bench surrounding their head coach, Leonard Butler. And out of the ball game, Vance Albert's got a nice little hand. And coming in for him is Brent Dyan. So even the Spartans are raising the white flag now with their best player off the floor as well.
Well, Coach Butler hasn't been a happy camper tonight as things have not gone to his liking. He feels sometimes with some of the officiating, but I don't think they had anything to do with this game. At the end of the day, once Leuzinger got untracked, and let's face it, we know that it took him a while. In fact, it took him most of the first half. As you mentioned, that 10-point run with about 3 minutes left in the half is what got him going. As we've got to get somebody to get this kid off the floor here.
There's a little girl there, but she might end up like Dusty Baker's son back in the 2002 World Series. as the ball is inbounded, but it goes right through the wickets of Kristen Stribling and out of bounds. So it'll be South ball over on the other side with 1:21 left to go in the ball game.
So this number 2 ranked Leuzinger team, number 2 ranked in the Daily Breeze.
Westbrook is back in the ball game for the last minutes as the three-point shot is taken. Won't go down. The rebound is up. That won't go as South gets another try, and now we'll get free throws. As really trying to put the ball in the bucket is Ardo Kalajian.
Well, not only is Westbrook back, Donnell Beverly is back, and he's back in part because Coach Morris didn't like what he saw on the last 2 trips, and that was the fact that the Olympians turned the ball over. So he brings the sure-handed guys back, even with 1:10 left.
Well, that's sending a message to your team that it doesn't matter, as coming back in is Stribling, and back out of the ball game is Westbrook. So maybe just wanted to have a little talking to some of his younger players. Next free throw is way short. Beverly with the rebound. And back comes the Olympians. Donnell Beverly has it with 1 minute left to go in the ball game. 49-42. Beverly going against Kalajian. Beverly passes it off. Now gets it back from Quarker, who throws the ball away, but Quarker is good enough to get the ball back on his own after it was stolen from him. Miles Allen now has it. Allen, and a three-point shot is taken. Won't go down by decent. Rebound is off to South, and back they come. 35 seconds left, and the ball is tipped out of bounds by Miles Allen, and the Olympians are still playing tough on the other side with 34.7 seconds left.
Low-scoring quarter, this will end up being for the Olympians, but it was low-scoring for a couple of reasons. One, there was no Russell Westbrook for virtually the entire quarter. Made one brief appearance, I mean brief, about 10 seconds.
Little cameo. As here comes the give and go to Quarker, lays it up and in. Thought he might try to slam it down, but he didn't do it. 61-42, 10 seconds left to go as the ball is saved by Mitsushi. Mitsushi over to Chang. Chang lays it up. No, Beverly with it, hangs on, and that's going to do it. And that is the ball game. Leuzinger comes away with the win, 61-42 over the South Torrance Spartans, and they're going to light the torch in victory tonight. The Olympians improved to 20-3 on the year, and also 6-1 in the Bay League to tighten the screws on West. And the Torrance Spartans fall to 15-7 and 3-4 in the Bay League for third place. As we'll see how Redondo and Pali High works out there. As well, the Olympians did just what they needed to do to win the ball game. Final score 61-42.
Well, they certainly did. As we see, we know the final will be adjusted there to show that it's 61-42 final. Sets up Friday night's game. This South team, as we see the 2 head coaches, Coach Morris and Coach Butler, talking in friendship, post-game discussions, it's all over. And I'm sure Coach Butler has a great deal of respect for this Leuzinger basketball team, as we all do. And of course, his team in its own right, and you got to give them a lot of credit. They did what they could, and let's face it, that first quarter, man, 17-14 was the score at the end of the quarter, and man, they pushed it and they held on as long as they could. The separation came late in the second quarter, and then the second half was completely dominated by the Olympians, as a 19-point margin of victory will attest to.
All right, we're just seeing if we can't get Reggie Morris over here, and maybe we can take a timeout for about a minute or two and see if we can't get Coach Reggie Morris over here for the post game. And the final score again from Olympic Gym, 61-42, Leuzinger over South. We'll be back in just a moment on Channel 22 Sports. (61-42) is the final score from Olympic Gym at Leuzinger High School. Along with Rufus Washington, I'm Lou Stowers, and also the winning coach tonight, Reggie Morris, of the Leuzinger Olympians in his 4th year. And Reggie was just talking to Rufus after the game, briefly after the game, that the Olympians did just what they needed to do to get this the win in the bank.
Well, I thought we played solid tonight. I didn't really think that we played as hard as we usually do, but I think the game had some type of lull to it. You know, it was finals week here, and we didn't get as many kids out, and I know most times the players tend to feed off the crowd, so we didn't get as many people out as we would have liked. So not to make any excuses, South Torrance is a real tough opponent, and you know, they came and they played. They just couldn't get the ball to drop in the hole. If they'd have made some of those shots, I'm sure the game would have been much closer.
Seemed like from the half point of the first quarter to the half point of the second quarter, the South defense really put a sleeper hold on the Olympian defense.
Can you repeat that?
The offense, I should say. The South offense put a sleeper hold on your offense.
Well, a lot of times our offense is predicated off of our defense, so, and vice versa. If we don't score baskets, then we can't set up our defense, which won't lead to other baskets. So which is real interesting and kind of intricate. But I think at one point we just couldn't get the ball to go in the hole, and you know, we kind of went walking back up the floor, so we couldn't get the energy that we usually use from our defense and transfer it towards the offensive end. So,
but you did get a spurt there, Coach, at the latter stages of the second quarter, where you went on a 10-0 run that actually provided the separation. At one point it was 21-19, ended up being 31-19, and so forth. A couple of big three-pointers by Russell to get you going.
He's our leader. You know, they keyed in on him tonight, like, you know, I think all the Bay League teams are going to do. You know, he was frustrated for a while, but, you know, he opened it up for us, and after that happened, we didn't really have any more trouble for the rest of the game.
Right, you outscored them in the second half at one point by a margin of 40-20, and you talk about the second half. One of the things that I observed there was after Russell went out there in the third quarter when he picked up the foul, Duke Moore seemed to have taken over. I saw two things. One, Duke Moore seemed to have taken over Russell's role, and Donnell Beverly was content to maintain his role and not do too much.
Well, that's what he is. I mean, I thought Donnell played an excellent game, especially for what we need him to do. I thought he made baskets when we needed him to make baskets. I think Duke did some good things, and if he could just settle down a little bit and not be so erratic, we could get a lot more out of him. But, you know, he definitely took up the scoring punch when Russell was out, and we really like to see that.
Your size also, I mean, another variable in this game against South was clearly the size advantage that you enjoyed. And it looked like in the early going, one of the things was more so than letting Russell shoot on the perimeter or penetrate, that you were doing a lot of inside looks to take advantage of that.
Well, they were set up in the defense where they really keyed in on Russell and Donnell. They were in a triangle in two, which means, you know, they were guarding Russell and Donnell man-to-man, and the rest of the team was in zone. So we were just trying to take advantage of whatever easy scoring opportunities we could, whether it be throwing the ball inside, or we ran some things to try to get Russell and Donnell free, you know, and they did a real good job of getting the ball to open guys and just trying to make plays for themselves and other people. So we didn't really key in and say we were just going to throw it inside, but with the addition of Deshaun Freeman down the stretch, because, you know, he's a real big part of what we're doing, and we expect a lot of big things out of him. He's been out most of the year due to growing pains, and, you know, we're just trying to get a few minutes out of him here, a few minutes out of him there, and try to hope that he'll be ready to go for the playoff run.
Yeah, he had 7 points in the first quarter. Was a big part of that 13-2 run to open the game there. And is he still having a little bit of a problem with that? We didn't see him a whole lot.
He's having a ton of problems. He just decided he could see his teammates and that they needed him to do some things, and he's just tired of sitting on the sideline. So he said, you know, he's going to suck it up and try to play, and he's a tough kid, and we really appreciate the fact that he's going to come out and do things that he needs to do. But he's going to be a great player for us. There's no doubt. Next year, you know, hopefully down the stretch here, and then definitely next year, we expect big things from him. And he has big shoes to live up to. I mean, we see him as being one of the best players in the state of California. He has that type of talent.
Well, that is some big billing to live up to, especially when you have people like Beverly and Westbrook on there as well, and now the emerging Duke Moore. But you got to be proud of your defense, Coach. They really stuck a cork into Vance Albitz and Andrew Oyamada tonight.
Well, the first time we played them, we gave up a ton of dribble penetration, and we gave up three-point shots. And so that was the game plan going in, is just to contain and to make sure there's no kick and make sure that there's no three-point shot. And I think we did a good job. They didn't get too many shots to go. I think if they'd have got something to go, some things might have opened up for them a little bit more. But we did a good job at limiting them to one shot, and then that's what we did. So we kind of dared him to shoot the ball, and then he wouldn't do it, and he missed a couple. So I think it made him kind of tentative to shoot the ball again. So I thought we did a good job in that aspect.
Coach, we got to talk about the future now. This one's in the books. Again, congratulations on it. Friday night, you got a big game. We don't know the result right now, the Maricosta West game. But at any rate, Friday night against West here on your home court, which Channel 22 will be covering, by the way, sets itself up to be one of the Bay League games of the year.
Well, you got the two top teams in the league at this point due to record-wise. West Torrance is 5-1. We're 6-1, and we don't know the results of that game right now. They beat us. They're our only league loss. And we beat them earlier this year in the Westchester tournament, so we're 1-1, and we're looking to break the tie. Coach Gerges and I are real good friends, so, we're playing for bragging rights as well, and, we hope that we can come out and have a good one here at Leuzinger.
Now that you've got a playoff position sewn up, and, of course, you're playing for the league title, other than winning games, which is always the objective, what's the team objective the rest of the way as you start to set the table for the playoffs?
Team objective is just to keep getting better, to shore up the things that we don't do well. Tonight, the key word was to cut off all penetration and to eliminate all easy baskets. I think we pressured, but we didn't put the same type of pressure. We were more focused on containment, especially guarding those little guys. And the little guys are really hard to guard. They're really fast and quick and have real good ball handling skills. So that's what we're really trying to shore up, dribble penetration and make sure that we keep on getting better doing the things we do. We're a pressing team, so we're going to continue to get after people, but we don't want to make it as easy on the other end where we're either getting a layup, or either getting a steal or giving up a layup. We really want to focus in on just making people feel pressure the whole 82 feet of the floor, and making sure that they see pressure in the backcourt and not just give up a layup in the front court. We want to make sure that they have a hand up and just do all the things and be basic and sound defensively.
Well, Coach, I know you push them pretty hard, but show them a little bit of love. In that second quarter, they held South to 5 points, and that's a pretty good defensive outing for 8 minutes of high school basketball to hold your opponent to 5 points.
Well, we practice. Defense is the most important thing that we practice day in, day out. It's the most consistent thing in our program that we really work on. So, that's the type of outing we want to have every quarter if possible. That's what we're pushing for. That's our goal. That's what we're aiming to do. So,
all right, Reggie Morris, thanks a lot for joining us,
Appreciate
and
it.
we will see you Friday when West comes to town.
Thanks,
to
Coach.
take on the Olympians. And we're going to get Coach out of here right now so he can tell everybody on the team, good job well done as he climbs over everybody there. And let's go over the scoring of this ball game, and let's start out with the Spartans. 11 points by Vance Albitz and 4 points by Andrew Oyamada. So the defense really did a good job against the big two guns of the Spartans. 5 points for Jared Kozaki, another one of those sharpshooters for the Spartans. 2 points for Jake Chang. Also, he's an emerging star, just a sophomore for that Spartan team. 0 points for Chang. Corey Jordan did not even make it out on the court. Devin Pilgrim, just 4 points in the ball game. 4 points for Garrett Mitsuchi. And I was told that he's another one of those guys that likes to fire out from long range. Was just held to four fourth quarter points. 3 points for Ardo Kalajian, and 5 points for Robert Anishi, and 4 points for Darrell Evans. And that totals 42 points. For the victorious Olympians, 15 points for Donnell Beverly, 11 points for Russell Westbrook, all in the first and second quarter because of foul trouble, of course. Didn't see him too much after that. 9 points for Deshaun Freeman, 5 points for Kristen Stribling, 2 points for Kevin White, 6 for Ralph Horton, and 9 points for Duke Moore, all in the second half, by the way, and 2 points for Gary Quaker for a total of 61. So going into the game against West, Rufus, what do you see this team working on from now until then?
Well, it's hard to say. They did a little bit of everything that they wanted to do, as Coach mentioned. They wanted to put forth a good defensive effort, and quite frankly, when you average it out over 4 quarters, they held this team to 10 points per quarter. a little more than that, but on average about 10 points a quarter. That's pretty doggone good defense. I'm not sure how much better you can get than that at this level. And we know that West is a good team. So if you come close in doing that, some of their execution, I mean, there's still things they have to do. I think that they want to accomplish, and that is to have that consistent secondary scorer to Russell Westbrook. And we know that that can be Donnell Beverly. We know it can be Duke Moore. The big guys got involved a little bit tonight, dribbling. Even Duke Horton was making some noise. So that's what they're going to want to do. As he said, I would think the intangible, quite frankly, and it was interesting that Coach mentioned that, and I think it was a great observation on his part, was the fact that due to the because it's finals week here, you didn't have the huge turnout of students to give them that lift. Well, guess what? Finals will be over Friday afternoon. I think you'll see this house packed.
Not only, yeah, everybody's going to want to celebrate, that's for sure. And what better way to celebrate with a basketball game against the #1 teams in the Bay League battling it out for first place. And we'll have it all right here on Channel 22 Sports. Well, let's put our fingers on the bow and wrap this one up. And the player of the game, before we do that, here, let's untie it here real quick. All right.
I voted first last time. It's your time to vote first this time.
All right. I'm going to vote for Donnell Beverly because he just played a consistent game on both sides of the ball, had some big rebounds on the other side. Duke Moore had a good game late. Russell Westbrook, of course, was terrific in the first half. But I'm going to go with Donnell Beverly. He was just consistent from beginning to end.
I think that's a great selection, and I'll give you my reason for going along with Donnell as this selection. Again, when Russell went out the game, oftentimes you'll see teams really start to fall apart because everybody wants to take over and now be the man. Donnell, as I said to Coach Morris, in the post game, was content to continue to play his role, which is to set the table for everybody else. And boy, it looked like, well, okay, Duke has stepped up and Duke is now doing Russell. Didn't bother Donnell at all. All right.
He didn't change his game.
Still was even, like you say, still ran his role, played it well, and that's what makes this team go. So I echo your opinion. Donnell Beverly.
All right, the assist leader in the Bay League is our Holiday Inn Express and Suites player of the ballgame. Congratulations to Donnell Beverly. Well, now let's retie this thing here. Okay, that's a wrap on this game from the Lou House. We'll be back at Olympic Gym, that's for sure, on Friday night.
Friday night.
Absolutely. So it could be a battle between two 6-1 teams, but we'll find out in the paper tomorrow how Miracosta fared against the West Torrance team. Well, for Rufus Washington and Tom Strickfaden and the terrific crew here at Channel 22 Sports, I'm Lou Stowers telling you once again the final score from Leuzinger High School, the Olympians 61 and the Spartans 42. Until next Friday, we'll see you later.
Good night.
The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites, South Bay. The Holiday Inn Express is partnering with Channel 22 Sports to help promote our young people in sports competition and academics so that everyone in our community wins. The Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites. Stay smart. The preceding presentation of this Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week was brought to you in part by a generous donation from the South Bay Workforce Investment Board. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board is working together with Channel 22 Sports to promote an environment where everyone can maximize their career potential and so that all employers have the human resources they need to grow and prosper. The South Bay Workforce Investment Board. When you need us, we are there for you. The preceding presentation of the Channel 22 Sports Game of the Week is brought to you in part by a generous donation from Ralph's Food for Less, the nation's premier price impact supermarket chain. Food for Less is proud to be working with the community to enhance the lives of everyone by providing a diverse selection of products and customer service and by reaching out to support the communities in which we serve.